Hello everyone, Siddharth this side, and today we will be solving another question on Geek for Geeks, which is sum of middle elements of two sorted arrays. So what we have to do in this problem is that we have given two arrays and we have to return the sum of the middle two elements of the merged array. So let's first discuss the brute force method to solve this question. So let's move on to the whiteboard. So 1 to 4, 6, 10 is the first array. So 1, 2, 4, 6, 10. This is the first array, and the next array is 4, 5, 6, 9, and 12. 4, 5, 6, 9, and 12. This is the second array. So, the brute force method, how can we, using brute force method, how can we approach this problem is that we will use two pointers, and now we will compare these two elements. So, one is obviously smaller than 4, so we will put this 1 into a new array. Now we will move our pointer to 2 here. Again, same condition here. 2 is smaller than 4, so we will add 2 here. Now in this manner, we will able to merge this full array, all the elements, these elements into the single array, and this is sorted as well. And now as the size of this array will going to be 2n, as size of first array is n, and the size of second array is also n. So we have to just return the sum of the middle two elements. So this is a brute force method, but the time complexity of this solution will going to be omega of n1 plus n2, which is the length of the first array and second array as well. Same, the space complexity of this solution will going to be n1 plus n2. So now let's move on to the efficient approach. So additionally, we just have to keep track of the two elements. First, we will initialize them to -1, and while traversing in both of the arrays, we will be just updating these two elements, and eventually these elements will going to be our middle elements. So what we will be doing in this approach is that first we will be doing same as our brute force method. We will be comparing these two elements. If we encounter a smaller element, we will move the pointer in that side, and additionally we will initialize our m1 to m2 and m2 to our current element, which is the smaller one in these two elements, which is 1. So we will initialize m2 to 1 and m1 to m2. Now we will move on to the next element, which is 2 in this case. Now we will compare 2 with 4. So obviously 2 is smaller than 4, so we will update our m1 and m2 here again. So m1 will going to be 1 and m2 will going to be 2. So this is our first iteration, this is our second iteration. In the third iteration, obviously 4 is less than or equals to 4, so again we will update these two elements, which is m1 is equals to 2 and m2 will going to be 4. Now we will compare 6. So 6 is greater, so we will update our m1 to 4 and m2 to 6. Now I am sure that you guys have got the concept how can we solve this problem. And now we just have to take care of an edge case when all the element in our first array is smaller than all the element in the second array. Let's take an array where this edge case arises. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So in this array all the elements are smaller, and in this array all the elements are greater. So additionally what we have to check is that if I become equals to n, if our pointer of the first array become equals to the size of the array, then we just have to update our m2 to array to 0th element, because then we will not get iteration in the for loop, because I will become equals to n and our for loop will stop there. Now we will not able to update our m2, so we have to additionally update it. So that case we will call our edge case, and we will update our m2 with array to 0th element. And if all the element in this array is smaller, then we will update our m2 to array 1 zeroth element. So let's move on to the coding screen. So let's start solving this question, guys. So first, what we have to do, we have to initialize two pointer int I equals to 0, j equals to 0, and m1 will going to be -1, m2 will going to be -1 as well. Now we will start traversing into our array. So for int count is equal to 0, count less than n, count plus plus. Now what we have to do, we have to check for the edge case. So if our I become equals to n, then what we have to do, we have to update our m1 to m2 and our m2 to array 2 zeroth element, and after that we will break out from the loop. And after that, or if j equals to n, we have to do the same. m1 is equals to m2, and m2 will going to be array 1 0, and after that we will break out from the loop. And after that, what we have to do, we have to apply just the brute force method, checking, like if array 1 I is greater than, sorry, if array I is less than or equals to array 2 j, then what we have to do, we have to move into our first array and we have to update our element as well. So m1 will equals to m2, and m2 will going to be array 1 I, and we have to update our pointer, we have to increment it, so I plus plus. Now in the else part, what we have to do, we have to update our m1 to m2, then m2 will going to be equals to array 2 j. Now we will do j plus plus, and in the end we will get m1 and m2 as our middle elements of the merged array, so we will return their sum. Okay, so I think the code is looking fine. Now let's try to run this code. Okay, so there is some problem. Equals to n I plus plus j plus plus, this is correct. Okay, less than or equals to. Okay, now let's try to submit this code. So all the test cases have been processed. So thank you. See you in the next video. Bye.